Sheep are strange. It's often tempting to think that sheep and people have a lot in common. Indeed, I'm sure you can think of some people where that is probably quite fair. When I started my PhD, I also assumed that sheep and people had a lot in common. Previously, sheep had been used extensively in respiratory disease research, as their respiratory and immune systems are very similar to our own. I wanted to see whether the types of bacteria in sheep lungs were also similar to those found in humans. If this was the case, then we might be able to use the sheep as a model in respiratory diseases which involve these bacterial communities. What I found is that the sheep lung is a very different, a very complicated, and a very strange place. For example, in healthy humans, you will generally find the same types of bacteria all over the lungs. Not so in sheep. If you take a sheep lung sample and then another one from 2 centimeters away, you will find completely different bacterial communities. Also, when you look in a healthy human lung, you'll generally find bacteria which have been pretty well studied. Again, not so in the sheep. I often find bacteria which have previously barely been studied at all, including one very common bacteria in my sheep that was originally isolated from Korean fermented seafood. As I've been traveling through my PhD and finding these weird and wonderful bacteria, it's made me wonder what other bacteria might be lurking in the respiratory systems of other animals. Maybe something that can produce the next antibiotic, or that could be used in bioenergy production. Because the majority of research focuses on microbes which inhabit humans, we might be missing out on a vast array of potentially useful weirdness. So don't let anyone tell you that sheep are boring. Sheep are interesting. The bacteria they contain could be very useful. And they are very, very strange. Thank you.